Hello and welcome back to the 100-day art challenge. We are just over the halfway mark. This will be video number 51 of 100 and I am painting things in pairs. That is the idea for this one. A couple of pairs on a plate and seeing if I can get the form, the shadow, the texture, and just trying to learn oil painting. If this is the first video that you've watched, then I'll explain that for this challenge I've been using different media. I had oil pastels, I've done charcoal, soft pastels, pencil, pen, digital. I don't really know oil painting that well, so this stage of the challenge I'm now trying to educate myself and put myself through basic art school in the fundamentals. So learning how to paint still life, and I will move on to landscape and portraiture as it goes along. I did try a couple of plein air paintings, but they didn't work out so well, so I had to take a couple of steps back to learn still life, as it was a bit easier and gave me the opportunity to then familiarise myself with the paint and how it worked and how it didn't work so well. And I've tried different paints throughout. Yesterday's video was using Winsor & Newton, the day before was Rowney Georgian, and the day before that was Michael Harding. So I'm probably still on a mixture of Rowney Georgian and Winsor & Newton in this video. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that I am pulling the focus towards the important part of the subject, being the light on the pears, but I also like the shadow that it's casting across the plate. It's not exactly a professional setup for still life, it's just something basic for now. I will try to do better paintings in the future, but for the time being I find it important to try and learn how to build up texture and what happens when you mix paint in certain ways. And I say that because this video shows an interesting result, I think, at the end, and I don't do this intentionally, but whilst I'm focusing on the pears and I'm trying to get the plate, the ellipses for the plate correct, I then pull the focus to the pears in a fairly sharp way, whereas the plate becomes a very soft focus. That wasn't intentional, but I think in the future I may intentionally use that, because it can be it can look as though you've done it like a camera trick, and that's not what I was trying to do at all. Most of the time I do a brown background, as it's a brown box I have the plate on, but it doesn't really matter so long as it's tonally equivalent, so I push it more towards a blue-grey for the ground colour that the plate can be sat on. And again, it's not massively important, it's just trying to change little things here and there so that I can learn what happens when I do those things and what benefits there are. Mixing that colour into the shadow colour for the pears was really nice, and I started to realise that I needed to change it tonally at the top than I did from the bottom. So at the top it's a lot brighter, a blue. It's still a blue-grey, but it's a lot brighter than the lower part, which is a dull blue-grey. And I think it works well with the brown of the plate, as that tilts towards the orange tint on the edges of the plate there. So that's a complementary colour, but it wasn't given any forethought, it was just reacting in the moment really, and trying to pull it together so that it looks half decent. And it's only a short video, this one, because it's not filmed from an incredibly good vantage point for the camera, but I don't always like to paint with my arms curling around the tripod holding the camera, and that's normally what I do. So for a level of comfort I removed the camera to a few steps behind me, so to look over my shoulder, but because I'm right-handed it does obscure the paint as I'm applying it. That does change, so the next few videos, I think the next one will start with it over my shoulder and then it cuts to a shot from above, so don't worry, that will improve in the next few videos. But if you look here at the finish, I think it's quite interesting with the sharp and soft focus on the still life piece, and I just found it quite an enjoyable process to paint this way, because again, working with the shadows to the light is always quite a fun process of painting. It reminds me of ink drawings. But that's it. That's the painting that I do. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching the video, and I will see you tomorrow.